Morning, it's Fish, Beach Bum Investor. So I'm like, blame Jace. He took me out surfing. He messaged me at like 10 o'clock and goes, let's go for a surf. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Just going to post up in Discord and let the guys know we're here for a crypto discussion. Surf is fun for those of you interested. Didn't look that great from shore, but it was pretty good when we got out there. I smashed 2 massive turns on my last wave. Feeling good about it. All right, I'm just going to post up in Discord. Let the guys know we're in for a chat. It is the weekend, so I don't expect a whole lot of action on crypto chat today, but we'll have a look at the market anyway. And I'm late, so probably half the people won't come in. I think Fish has had the day off. G'day, Floyd. BB, what's going on? TNC, okay, everyone's starting to roll in. We're here for the weekend crypto chat. Just been out surfing, man. Went surfing at D-Bar with Jace. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe. Where you going with that gun in your hand? All right, cool. Let's have a look at the crypto economy. Things have been retracing last time I checked. I only literally just got back to the surf. So let's see. First snow of the season. Nice to hear, Pablo. Can't remember the last time we got snow on the Gold Coast. 50 years ago on Mount Tamborine, something like that. Don't happen often. Okay, so that's, yeah, it has retraced. Total market cap at 392 billion. Bitcoin 14,200. It dipped down to 14,000 overnight and found support and rallied back. So will that support continue to build up around the 14,000 mark, or will it continue to retrace? That's the decision you've got to make if you're looking to invest. Me personally, I'm sitting back. I've told you this all week. Taking some money out, waiting to see what happens with SIBO trading. But you know what I read about that is they're not actually going to be offering shorts on SIBO trading. I don't really understand that. I've got to look more into it. CMA it definitely should be, I would have thought. And that's in more like 8 days. But yeah, SIBO trading starts tomorrow. So I've been waiting for that to see what sort of effect that's going to have on the market. I'll probably wait till next week, since it's CMA trading next week, to actually decide on whether to put more fiat in. Elastos. I might have checked that out earlier, TNC. Let me have a look. No, I'm thinking of Elastic XCL. I've had a look at Elastic. I haven't had a look at Elastos. No, I haven't seen that one. Yeah, I saw you post that up onto the I saw you post that up on the Discord group, Joe. I was going to message you and ask you what that was about. Joe started using the Brave browser, which is, it's really good with no ads. I guess it's like a Google, right? Decentralized Google. Is that have I got that right, Joe? You know I'm not good with computers. Yeah. Oh, you posted on Discord, TNC. I'll have to have a look. I had a look at one of Agent Smith's ones this morning. Agent Smith asked me to have a look at one he was having a look at. So that chewed up my morning, and then Jace called me and said, let's go for a surf. And I said, I am in. It's a beautiful day here on the Gold Coast. And it's a Sunday, and I'm allowed to go for a surf and be a little bit late for crypto chat. It's just a browser with no ads, so it's faster. Yes, sweet as, Joe. Sounds sweet, man. I'll have a run of it. I've become the beta test monkey for all this sort of stuff. If Fish can do it, anyone can do it. That's the general consensus. Let's have a look at the rest of the market. Do you guys want to come over and have a look at it? Or do you just want me to read it? I'll just read it out. Ethereum 457. Ethereum's at 457. It was pretty solid compared to the rest of the market. Like Bitcoin Cash, IOTA, it all dipped. Litecoin had really found some really good gains again. They got announced. There was a tweet. I will switch over to screen share because I'll show you this tweet put out by Charlie Lee. And I did this on my little quick 5-minute wrap up this morning. But I'll just show you again. Charlie Lee tweeted this. Boom. You can now buy Steam vouchers with LTC. Awesome. And I had to actually figure out what that meant. Had no idea. Didn't know what Steam was, of course, being a computer rookie. But I found out that it was this big video game platform. So, yeah, that's awesome for LTC, and it drove some good price action. Good to see. Oh, really, Joe? That's cool. Byteball released some new wallet software today. It's good to see, man. That's what I like, you know. Some people go after, like, you can go after and chase the big gains on some lower market cap coins, but often you don't see any development updates coming out or any real you know, any real moving forward. And you got to question whether the project's even been actively worked on, you know. So it's good to see that Byteball release some new wallet surfboard. Yeah, it is, Joe. Joe, Steam is huge. I didn't realize how huge when I saw the announcement. I was like, yeah, so what, video games? But guys, you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of voxels, okay? Now, I took an investment at voxels, believe it or not, check my Steam articles. I took an investment in voxels when it was a $2 million market cap. Now, voxels is currently, let's have a look, whether it's gone up or down. I know it's going to be well above that, but I'm just checking now. Yeah, it's currently got a $37 million market cap. So I'm stoked with that one, but I wrote an article about it. And I wrote an article about it the day before it went 10x. I'm not joking. The very next day it went 10x. And this is when I had no Steam followers. So I certainly wasn't affecting any markets. But I just wrote the article asking the question. Like, I don't know about virtual reality and augmented reality and all the rest of it, but aren't all you guys interested in that? Like, I don't care. I've never watched a movie in 3D. But I know the rest of the world's interested. Is this really a correct valuation for this company that's like, they'd already come out and showed stuff they were working on, and like, what? This seems to be undervalued for mine. I don't really know anything about augmented reality, virtual reality. Had a stab, did well. So yeah, I didn't really know how big a thing Steam was either. And like, I might not care. I'm never going to go and buy anything off Steam with LTC. It doesn't affect me personally, but I'm not an idiot. I know how big well, that's debatable. But I do know how big the gaming industry is, multi-billion-dollar industry. So yeah, it's a huge move, obviously. There you go. Joe said it's biggest gaming platform on PC. What do they do? I'm keen to go on anything, you know me, Joe. Not on any investment. Like, I like good investments, but stuff like this that you're talking about. So Joe's just asked me, are you keen to get some Antminer i3S's fish? Yeah, I'm pretty keen, Joe. If we can like cut down our order and get more in bulk, man, you just got to tell me what the deal is. But I'd be real keen on that, Joe. I reckon Wilkie would as well. So if we want to do a big bulk order, maybe Jace, who I just went for a surf with, we're all getting into that sort of stuff, man. So yeah, I'd be keen. Rob V, hey dude, I got the charts open and looking to pull the trigger on buying some BTC because I have stuffed all of it. I think it will pull back a bit more. Yeah, I think so as well, Rob. Mate, the advice I've been giving to people who have been asking me, and I'm not a financial advisor, just to make that clear, in case the mustache doesn't give it away. But what I've been advising people who have been asking me, because I do have more experience in this space than them, I've said, look, we do have risk events coming up in futures tradings. Now that can drive the market either way, but my suggestion would be to, you know, if you're desperate to get in, put some in now, put half your capital in now, wait for the risk event, see which way it's driving the market, and then put your other half in. You know, if it drives the market down, wait till it bottoms out, put your other half in. If it is going to drive the market insanely up, you can chuck your other half in on the back of that. But I honestly think it's a risk. Well, it is a risk event. Whether it will turn out to be negative for the economy or positive, it's yet to be seen. But I think there's certainly potential for it to be negative, like at least in the short term. And at the very least, make it super, super volatile. I can really see that happening. So, yeah, I don't know, Rob. I reckon half before, half after, man. So you're looking at CBOE trading opening today. Well, Sunday. So today is, well, it's Sunday in Australia soon. But then next week you've got CME trading as well, man. I believe CME, they will actually, the big boys and girls will actually be able to short Bitcoin for the first time on a significant volume. So it's going to be interesting to see which way it drives the market. BB Junkie, as a point of interest, is mining hardware rising due to the price of BTC going up? I have no doubt about it. Sure, that's why it is. And, basic laws of supply and demand, meaning there's more demand for it, so people can charge more for it. Pretty simple. If they're selling out all the time, which I understand most of the mining stuff is selling out as soon as it hits market. Yeah, that's another thing that I talked about. Actually, Jason and I had a bit of a crypto chat on the paddle out. We're just paddling the wall at D-Bar. For those of you guys who've surfed at D-Bar, if you go right next to the rock wall on the southern end, you get a nice, there's barnacles and stuff, but it's safe. So if you swim out there, you get ripped out the back real quick. And so it's not much duck diving or paddling to be done. We were having a chat about it and about how Bitcoin is valued. And I said, well, look, one of the valuations you can actually do and what people do on gold is the cost, and oil is cost price of production. So cost price of production of gold is about $1,100 an ounce. Therefore, for profitable business practices, you really want to be making at least 20% above that. So, you know, base price for mine for price of gold is that, you know, $1,100 plus 20%. So roughly $1,310, $20. That hasn't been happening lately, which is why I say that I think gold's dipped. I haven't checked it lately, but that's why I'm saying it's underbought. Relating it back to and oil, you know, cost price of production is $51 per barrel. So realistically, the oil industry can't survive long term on oil prices of under at least, unless the oil price is over at least like $55, $60, like around that mark. So yeah, that's something I was relating back to Jace with Bitcoin when we were paddling out today. And it's cool that there's the different debates coming about its current value and whether it's overvalued for its current stage of production, whether it's been manipulated. There's all sorts of different theories going on, but bringing it back to just like crunching the numbers, which is kind of what I've always done. I said, well, Jace, you got to look at the cost price of production, right? So I've read estimates that the cost price of producing one Bitcoin is approximately $1,000 US. You know, if you're just basing it purely off the cost price of production and profitable business practices, then Bitcoin should be able to be sold much, much cheaper. That's the reality. So it's another point to factor in to the overall debate, because there are plenty of good debates about the store of wealth argument that drive the price a lot higher than what we're currently seeing at 14,006. So it's a difficult decision. Hey, Fabio. Yeah, man, always at this time of the day. Well, I'm a little late today, to be honest, but yeah, around this time of the day. I'm going to take a couple of days off soon, guys, because I've been going a lot of days straight, and I've got some stuff to do. Plenty of stuff to do. I'm meeting up with Tanya next Friday to do some PIVX stuff, so it should be good. Kirby, you're all right? I hope that's right, Kirby. Kirby says, Fish, with Ether switching to proof of stake sometime next year, do you expect a pop as people will be less inclined to sell Ether? Thanks for the tip about Binance. Yes, I think Ether's undervalued compared to Bitcoin. Can I say that? Yeah, that's what I like to make it comparative to. So I think Ether's well undervalued compared to Bitcoin. I think the proof of stake, the move to proof of stake is smart. It's eco-friendly. It's easy for investors to understand getting dividends. I understand that their initial, I haven't checked on this in a while, but initially they were looking at doing 1,000 coins for like masternode in Ether, and then they were looking to breaking down into smaller proof of stake model in the future called sharding. Always have to laugh at that name. Vitalik's a crackhead. You heard it here first. No, I am joking, of course, but it's just a funny name. And yeah, so that's what they're looking to do with proof of stake. I think that's a smart move by Ethereum because I think it further differentiates them from the proof of work model currently in progress at Bitcoin. And I also think it's just I do think proof of stake's a better model. It's more economic, it's more efficient, and it's easy for investors to understand as well. But do I expect a pop in the Ether's price? Yeah, sometime over the next sort of 6 months, I guess, 6 to 12 months. This time next year, I don't think you'll be buying Ether at 400s. I really don't. I could be wrong, but you know, we don't even know the value of the apps that are going to come out on Ethereum yet, the value of the companies that are going to be building on top of the Ethereum platform. We already know they've worked with some huge companies. Who knows? I don't know. Sky's the limit for that one for me. I always compare things like that, like Ethereum itself. Obviously, it's kind of like the internet with competitors. That's the way I see it, because there's going to be multiple internets in Ethereum, Neo, Lisk. The point is that that's kind of how I view these DApp platforms, is it's like a new internet. So what do we value at the internet at? Even if it was owned by 20 different massive organizations or run by, or everything was built on top of those 20 different organizations, what would we value that public resource at? It'd have to be ridiculous amounts. So yeah, I don't know. I think Ethereum's success will depend a lot on the companies that choose to build on the Ether platform, and also new apps that come out on the platform, I think that will certainly contribute to the value of Ethereum going forward. So yeah, I see a pop coming one day. I don't know about soon, man. It's really hard to pick those when the pop's going to happen. You know what I mean? We've been calling NEM for ages. We've been sitting here. No one disagreed. We all talked about what a good project NEM was. Yep, it's a sleeping giant. Yep, let's move on to the next coin because we've got 1,000 to look at today. But no one argued that was a good project. It was just a matter of when it was going to pop. It did. Most coins that we've identified as really solid projects do eventually come to that pop. So it's about being patient and waiting for it. See ya. Have fun. Yeah, housemates hungover. It's funny. What's up, Dane? You bloody legend. Not much, man. Went surfing, looking at crypto. Came back and the market's down, so I thought I'd better come on YouTube and affect it in an upward manner. We'll see if we do that by the end of the hour. 392.5 to start the hour. End of the hour, I'm back and it's going to be higher. Now, I actually think people are going to be taking profits a little bit because I heard one other YouTuber starting to say anything. I won't even say negative, just realistic about the possibilities of what can happen with futures trading. He seemed to be the only one who really had a good hand, like a really, really good understanding of how that can be bad. And he actually said Bitcoin's in a bubble, but he's a crypto supporter. But I kind of agree with him, and I've given my reasons for that because I predicted price points of 5,500 by the end of the year based on its current use cases. Its use cases haven't increased. Scalability hasn't been implemented at this point. So we've factored all these, benefits in before they've even happened. So yeah, I think it's overpriced. Oh, is it? BTC is dipping bigly. I didn't want to do an update. They're all too scared to spread FUD. See, that's the thing. That's bullshit. I hate that. You have one negative thought, like not even a negative thought. It's realistic. Like this is where we get, this is where you do get the reputation for pyramid schemes and cult-like statuses because you can't ever say, oh, the market should trend down. Well, the market should trend down. I'm sorry. We've had massive runs up, massive run up. And anyone who's not taken a little bit off the profit off the table is either not experienced in investing or is, getting excited. I don't know. It can keep going. I'm just saying that it's due for time. It's due for a pullback, guys. It's shit. You must understand that growth like this is not ever seen in any other market in the world, ever. Consistently with every single coin in the economy. It doesn't happen. I know it's new technology. I know it's emerging. I know it's fantastic, but we're still figuring out its use cases. We're still figuring out the best versions of the technology. So yeah, I think that a pullback is warranted. I think it was due, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people who that makes me unpopular with, and that's fine because I've always said that you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine. And if you think Bitcoin's just going to continue bull running forever, this is one of the times we don't agree because pullbacks in the market are natural, and it's not a time to get scared. I haven't pulled any, I haven't gone pulling anything out that I hadn't already planned to. I'm not hoping the market collapses come Monday, but it crashes or dips, but I am prepared for it in that case. I think it's good to put yourself in a situation where you win regardless. Jace is in the chat, by the way. Everyone can blame Jace, Aussie Canuck. His fault. His fault that I wasn't here on time. He kept me in the surf too long, then he left his board bag at the rocks. Well done, Jace. Oh, dear. All right, let's have a look at the rest of the market. Anyone got any that I want to have a look at rather than me carrying on about a Bitcoin rant? And that's the thing, though. I still think there's plenty that is actually undervalued on potential and current use case in the altcoin market. I really just think it offers better value. Mark Sabin, IOTA or Cardano for 2018? Will you ever move over to the dark side and join BitConnect? I can't stand those commercials on YouTube. Yeah, Mark. Welcome, man. Welcome. IOTA for mine without having had a real good look at Cardano. I diversified into IOTA a few weeks back now, or a couple of weeks ago more heavily because I believe that it's smart to diversify into something different. And a lot of people were hedging against Bitcoin with Bitcoin Cash, and I went a different route and said, no, I'll hedge with IOTA, and I'm certainly glad that I did that. because to me it never made sense to hedge with a version 2 of the same coin. IOTA is completely different. Tangle technology, it's pretty impressive, man. Now, there's some security questions around it, and it is emerging technology. But if Tangle can really dominate the market through IOTA and prove itself as secure and prove that everything that it's claiming to be able to do, the more people who use it, the faster it gets. It can be a giant. I was watching the not a documentary, but a Q&A with some of the team, and it was specific about IOTA being used in the cars and having in-car wallets and being able to pay for your, everything from your parking to your toll fees to your recharge, electric cars, recharging stations, all just comes out of your car wallet. And the machines talk to each other. You don't even have to do anything. And it's a zero cost transaction, and the network speeds up as more people use it. It's kind of the opposite to Bitcoin in that respect. So yeah, I hedged with IOTA. For me, I'm bag holding a bunch of it because I think if Tangle, over the next decade, if Tangle technology can do what blockchain technology has done and prove itself as secure, I think it certainly has use cases, perhaps even above and beyond blockchain in some cases. So yeah, that's my personal opinion on IOTA, man. Cardano, I haven't had a good look at it, but I tell you what, I wish I had have, because it's had a good few months, hasn't it? Yeah, so thanks for the question. CME starts next week, I think, Hourglass. I'm pretty sure. CBOE starts tomorrow. So CBO trading. Pretty sure. I'll double check on that for you. Yeah, Hourglass, we know you've got Neo. I got Neo as well. TNC, bag up on Neo. Okay, so we've got TNC and Hourglass absolutely shilling Neo. But look, I don't mind Neo. After having some experience now with it, when I just bought it and dumped the bag at $10, when I bought it at $1.30, still kicking myself over that. When I bought it at $1.30 and dumped it at $10, I didn't have a wallet up and running. I didn't have it staking. I hadn't really considered the thought of putting it into future ICO investments. And so I dumped it at 10. And I wish I hadn't have, but now I've got some back, which I had to buy back at around the $30 to $35 mark. Silly boy. Yeah, and I found it quite easy to move and to use and to stake with. And yeah, I don't mind now. It's certainly got some promise. Oh, bull dust. I'll buy $1 million if that's the truth. Oh, not $1 million. I'd have to sell my house to do that. BB Junkie said rumors that Elon Musk is getting involved with IOTA. Honestly, if that's true, I'll just buy up as much IOTA as I can. I'm such a big Elon Musk fan. I really am. Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he? I wouldn't get too starstruck with too many people in the world, but I reckon if I met him, I'd be dead set lost for words. Dude's brilliant. Ryan Sellers reckons that IOTA has a good future. Baby Junkie saying Neo is the future. IOTA versus Neo. Like I've always said, guys, neither like McDonald's, Burger King, Domino's and Pizza Hut, Coke and Pepsi. There's no reason that two giants can't exist in the crypto economy and more. I actually believe that it's really going to be important to have teams specified for specific use cases. And that's why I don't think any one currency can claim to be the best for everything, because the team behind the currency is going to have a lot to do with how successful it is in certain areas and certain industries. So yeah, I like the idea of different blockchains for different use cases. It's cool, and it allows it to be more, targeted for that particular industry. Manetha might have been bottomed out, Pablo. The funny thing is, I'm hearing more water cooler chat. Haven't actually looked into it myself for Manetha, but I'm hearing much more water cooler chat, and that's always a good early indication. Usually, the more chat you hear, as long as it's not, BitConnect is negative. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Oh, Mark asked me. He said, "Are you ever going to come over to the dark side and join BitConnect? I can't stand those commercials on YouTube." That's what I was laughing at earlier. Yeah, no, I'm not going to come over to BitConnect. I don't want to lock my money up, to lock my money up, to lock my money up, to lock my money up for longer and longer contracts to ever see a return. That doesn't interest me. I think the only way that BitConnect can survive is to continue to bring money in, and That's virtually the definition of a pyramid scheme. I also think it's putting a hell of a lot of faith in a trading bot. So no, not for me. BP, hey gang, BB Junkie. Let's ask him, found a video on YouTube. Sorry guys, just catching up. BP's in, TNC. ADA, so Cardano will be so amazing. I'm buying up a ton of it. ADA will be hot in Asia. Cool, thanks BP. Yeah, so Cardano's obviously quite a popular crypto at the moment. Let's have a look where it's sitting in the market cap. It's something that I don't report on regularly because I haven't actually had a thorough look into the project. Actually, I haven't really looked at it at all. And I don't own any. And there's only so many cryptos I can keep a track of and try and keep on top of news coming out. But Cardano has had good times. It's a $3 billion market cap coin, sitting at 11.44 cents. Yeah, so it's pushed its way right up towards the top 10. I'm sure the long-term hodlers for Cardano are pretty stoked. ETN, Dane. Mazza, let me have a look. Creating nicknames on the run. Oh, Electronium. I have heard of this. I haven't had a look at it though. Electronium there's a lot of volume going through it. No known market cap and no known circulating supply. So it must be coming out of ICO or something like that. That could be a futures market. I'm not sure. BP saying Electronium. Yeah, so Seb Fox is a fan of Cardano as well, ADA. So there's a few Cardano fans in the house. I'm going to have a look at it. You bought it at 2 cents and now it's 10. Yeah, man, nice. I like to hear that. I like to hear those gains, you know. Not everyone can follow fish on the vert coin and pick that up under $1, and not everyone can, you know, get into Icon at the pre-sale. By the way, let's have a look at that. I was having a chat to Jace about Icon this morning. He's getting more and more bullish on it, and so am I. And so is the futures market. Because last time I checked, it was trading at well over that $1.50 mark. Yep, $1.75. Now, I honestly don't. I think Jace made a bet with his wife. I was going to say his girlfriend, but that's the other girl. No, I'm joking. Jace made a bet with his wife that if Icon goes over $2 on opening day, he has to buy his wife a dog. So I'm really, really hoping that Icon goes over $2 because that was a stupid bet to make, Jace. And now you've locked yourself into a dog. Yeah, I think it's got huge potential. I like that. The same way I like that Charlie Lee's gone out and hooked up a deal with Steam, even though I couldn't care less about being able to spend Litecoin on Steam. I realise how valuable that is. The same way I like that, Icon have been running around making all those connections in Korea, massive, massive connections, banks, insurance companies, universities, you name it. And Icon's got their finger in that pie, ready to go. And that's what I love about it. They've positioned themselves so well before they even released a white paper. They've done all this work. They've built the blockchain from scratch. It's a Korean-based project. I think it's going to be massive. Can I talk about Ethos? I know they are making promises with their app. Do you have an opinion? Ethos, I started to look at it. I only just started to look at it very briefly. So they've gone from a rebranding. I can't even remember what it was originally called. But Ethos is going to be a decentralized exchange, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? I did have a look at it. Let me just have a quick look at the page. So it's the people-powered cryptocurrency platform. Yeah, I remember this because I remember thinking I like the community-based projects. I think that's why Vertcoin's done well. I think that's why PIVX has done well. When you've got a strong community behind you, there's like people lining up ready to buy the dips, right? Because you got that much in the confidence in the project and the community going forward. So, yeah, I looked at this video from Ethos. It looked pretty impressive, actually. You know, in terms of the website and that, it all looks really, really nice. Universal wallet, secure key management, Ethos liquidity network, mobile first, global ready, one-click diversification, people powered. Yeah, so they're gonna. It's a multi-wallet / exchange. I thought it looked pretty good, man. I haven't had like a really, really solid look into it. But I think the multi-wallets and the decentralized exchanges are going to do really, really well in 2018. I think, guys, I've got to tell you, I think the centralized exchanges are already starting to wake up to the fact that they will be under threat unless they do what decentralized exchanges are doing and just ask. The decentralized exchanges pretty much say, guys, if you want your coin to be added to us, let us know. We'll work on it. You know, some of these coins are real easy. Like that's what I contacted a company. What were they called? Barterdex to speak to them about adding PIVX to the exchange there, and they were basically just the way they were wording it was like they're very, very eager. Basically, it's not that hard. We can organize it, you know, just contact us and all the rest of it. Whereas some of the things we've had from centralized exchanges has been, oh, that's so much work. We're going to need literally, guys, highest quote we've ever had at PIVX, highest quote we've ever had to be added to an exchange, 100 BTC. Over $1 million to be added to an exchange. No, that was never going to be an option. No, and the thing is that with the centralized exchange somewhat having in the past held coins to ransom like that, it's further progressed the need and the demand for decentralized exchanges. So they've kind of shot themselves in the foot, and now they're running around at the last minute going, oh, actually we can reduce that significantly. So that's good to see, but still the decentralized exchanges are going, well, there's no cost. We can set it up in a couple of hours. So I'm still, even though the costs have been really, really heavily reduced, I'm still struggling to understand it. I mean, isn't the whole idea of the exchange that they make money off the trade fees? So why do we have to pay? It's just something I've been asking the question. Ah, that's right. It was Bitcoins. That's right. It rebranded. Yeah, that's right. I remember that now. That's for Ethos, guys, that we're talking about. Yeah, BP, that's fine, man. As long as you're investing in budget. BP said I'm bought in heavy because I think the price is going to go up. So why not? Why not go for it? You've got to be careful about self-fulfilling prophecies in this economy as well. I've been thinking more and more about it. And the more people who say Bitcoin, you know, Litecoin will go to 100, it will, because everyone believes it will. Not necessarily because it has that value. Although actually I think Litecoin does have that value and plenty more, because I think it's better than Bitcoin. I've said that a million times. Yeah, so it's interesting. It is interesting, but you know, the whole thing about as soon as one YouTuber started saying 20 grand, then everyone else started saying 20 grand, and 20 grand was the new mark for the end of the year. And it's kind of like we're actually like we are kind of fulfilling our own prophecies by continuing to drive the price to higher and higher amounts with our estimates without any real development. Like, I'm not saying there's been no development. Obviously, the developers of Bitcoin are working very, very hard to get scalability solutions out. I've heard some great things about some tests going on in the Lightning Network and all that sort of thing. But it's not implemented yet. Anyway, let's keep moving. I'm a bit worried about tomorrow. This is Kirby. I'm a bit worried about tomorrow. The futures market may mean that nobody actually has to buy real Bitcoin any longer. I'm not sure what the demand there will be to drive Bitcoin higher. Thoughts? Kirby, I've been concerned about the futures trading for a while. The one thing that doesn't bother me so much about tomorrow is I believe tomorrow is for CBO trading. And an article I read this morning, which really confused the shit out of me, sorry for swearing, is that they're not going to have shorts on CBO trading. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to read further into that. I'm not sure whether the person who wrote that article had reported incorrectly, so I've got to confirm that. But CME trading is the one that, as far as I know, it's definitely going to have shorting available as well. So yeah, it's a combined thing of people not having to buy the real Bitcoin, being able to buy it off a trading platform, and also, honestly, the licking the lips and tastiness of making a lot of money off shorting Bitcoin. Especially, like, it can happen, guys. That's something that everyone needs to be aware of. I'm not fudding. I've got Bitcoin. I've got plenty in the crypto economy. I don't desperately want to see it halve or anything like that. But yeah, my thoughts on the next week is it's a risk event. So I'm not moving any more fiat into the game. I've moved fiat out beforehand. I moved it out a few days ago. Crypto out into fiat. So I moved a little bit back out into fiat. Still got plenty in the game, but I'm not putting that fiat back in until I figure out what the market's going to do. And I can't figure that out. I can't crystal ball it. I can guess, and I can do my research and make a really informed guess. But at the end of the day, it's still a guess. So yeah, I'd rather see how the market reacts, and then when it settles down a bit, because I think it's going to be super volatile, and I don't think that, you know, let's say futures trading's open and Bitcoin shoots up $1,000. I don't think that's reason for me to then go, oh shit, okay, the effect has been positive and jam my money. And I'm talking when I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see what happens, not in the first hour after it starts trading. Like at least a few days, and maybe even a week before I decide where and when that fiat money will go back into the economy, into the crypto economy. So that's what I've done. That's cool, BP. Just as long as it's in budget, man. That's the main thing. But it's cool, you know. I think a lot of people in life don't take enough risks, man. They get caught in the box. They do. Shit, I left a high-paying job at 30 to go bodyboarding. I was managing 200 staff at 30 years of age, national company in 2 countries. And I left that and just went surfing for a while. That worked out pretty well. I ended up making the Australian team. I threw my hat in the ring at 32, man. 32-year-old rocking up with a 7-year-old board to a pro comp. I got a wild card. I got a beach entry. This is how my bodyboarding career started. I was literally just down free surfing because I hadn't worked in 3 years, and I'd just been surfing flat out. And I literally grabbed the board that I rode in my first pro comp. I'm not joking, yeah. 2 years ago, look, this is the board I rode in my first pro comp. It's it'd be 10 years old now. What's that? Oh yeah, that was me explaining Zero Coin Protocol. But yeah, I mean, it's an old Custom X Dave Hubbard thing, and I was up against guys like Matt Lackey, and Tyce Ryan, and Dave Winchester. There was Shane Griffiths. There were some big names there that year, and they're on an old board. They're all breaking out their new ones from their sponsors, but yeah, a lot of people wouldn't do that out of fear of being embarrassed, right? And look where it took me. Within 9 months, I was captaining the country over at a world championship. So I think you got to take risks in life, man. I won't say it's always worked out for me. Sometimes it's ended up a miserable failure, but I just get bored. I don't know how anyone can sit in the same job 9 to 5, 20 years straight. Guys, I've done everything from bartending to property development to to work in the hospital industry to, oh God, I can't even remember. There's been like 20 different career paths for me. Bodyboarder. I was at the PGA Institute for golf. I was accepted to that at 21 as well. So I get bored really easy and want to move on to the next thing. I don't know how I got onto that rant, but let's get off it now. Okay, Grinkers, how are you, man? Cheese on bread. A few people came in during that rant. Sorry, guys. Ripple pledges to lock up 14 billion in Ripple. Yeah, Ripple are making good moves, BP. They've I think they'll have a place servicing the smaller financial institutions, the credit unions, that sort of thing. They're not going to be able to. I don't think they'll need to produce their own blockchain. Some of the bigger banks, yes, but I think most of the smaller institutions will be happy using Ripple. Cheese on bread. Marijuana industry and cryptos is an interesting future. Well, actually, it's kind of the start, right, of Bitcoin. I mean, whether you like to admit it or not, the big driving factor behind Bitcoin's early success was Silk Road, where Agent Smith used to get his pizzas. So yeah, man, it's kind of where it all started. But I'm not sure that's what Satoshi had in mind when he released that white paper. But that certainly is what drove its initial popularity and demand, if you like, for the Bitcoin itself. So it's an interesting industry. Is it necessary? With so many countries legalizing marijuana now, I'm not so sure that it is necessary long term. I know there's a lot of popular pot coins, but I'm not sure how necessary they are long term. Grinkers, do you think the crazy market cap that we've been experiencing recently will impact the path of where crypto will be in 5 years? Yes, I do. and in a couple of ways, it can be both positive and negative, man, because if you guys remember and you have a look back at Bitcoin's life, when it spiked to $1,000 in 2013, 2014, then crashed down to $100 or less, that was not good. I know you guys are, like a lot of us are standing here, and I don't know whether you're joking or not, and we half on it, and we're saying, oh, hope Bitcoin crashes to 3 grand. We don't want that. I'm telling you that now. A crash from 20 grand high to 3 grand low is very, very bad for our economy. And if you want to know why, go and have a look at the crash of 2013, 2014, and look how long it took to recover from that $1,000 high back to that $1,000 point again. It was a long time. So yeah, a crash of that size can shake confidence indefinitely, especially with so much new money coming in. So yeah, it can impact it both ways, man. That's what I think, Grinkers. I think people are more educated, are better educated than last time, because from what I've been reading, and I wasn't involved in the crypto economy at the time, but the crash was, again, a lot to do with China bans and things like that, like China banning Bitcoin and things like that. Way back in the day, a lot of countries moved to ban it, and there was a lot of problems with it. It took a long time to recover from that. I think people are better educated now, and they realize that regardless of what governments do, we can choose to have crypto being used as value. We can. It's very hard to stop it being used altogether. So regardless of what governments say, we can do what we want. And I think people have, in terms of we can do what we want, we can choose to use cryptocurrency is what I should say. We can do what we want. Have the bloody Australian government knocking down my door in 2 seconds. Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's interesting. Like, I would hate to see a massive correction, even though I've been saying it's possible, and a part of me would love to pick up some cheap Bitcoin and altcoins and all that sort of thing. I'm well aware of the effect that a major crash could have for confidence long term. So yeah, it's a good question, Grinkers. Dave Purebred, I read that as well. No shorting, but why would banksters short before Christmas, New York period? Because they can make money doing it, Dave. There's a couple of ways that you can short and make money, guys. So they could have bought up the Bitcoin and essentially be playing. They can actually affect the market themselves, which is less risky. And then there is a more risky option of just playing the psychological game of basically shorting the shite out of it on future month contracts and getting that mentality that someone must know something that's happening in Bitcoin and it's overvalued and we've got to get rid of it now. So they can actually put that much money into the future contract shorts that people start to believe it. Again, self-fulfilling prophecies, right? Same way as it went up on self-fulfilling prophecies, it can go down on self-fulfilling prophecies. That's why I'm saying, I'm trying to be very balanced and say to you, I believe it's a possibility, rather than saying it's definitely going to happen, dump all your Bitcoin now. I just want to balance out the people who've got their heads in the clouds and their feet clearly not on the ground, who are screaming about Bitcoin's, you know, how good it is and like really honestly almost almost to a stage of worship, and that scares me when the technological developments. It's awesome. Bitcoin is awesome, don't get me wrong, but the technological developments of recent times have not warranted the price action. So it's speculative. Should we bail off exchanges? Oh, it's up to you, man. I try not to keep too much on the exchanges because they've had a history of getting hacked. There's plenty of exchanges that have been hacked. Bitfinex, Mt. Gox. I think even, I don't know, but there's been plenty of them. If you go and look it up, pretty much every exchange has been hacked at some point or another. So yeah, safer ways to keep your coins off the exchange in a wallet. With your wallet backed up, your private key stored safely. That's the best way to do it. Fireproof safes are not stupid. Guys, you got to remember that how many people mined $20, $30 worth of Bitcoin, or had $20, $30 worth of Bitcoin sitting on a computer back in 2010 and didn't care and threw away that computer. And now they are going to garbage tips. I read about one guy in particular who went to the tip and started looking for this computer that would have had multi-million dollars worth of Bitcoin on it. Searching through a tip for it. He'll never find it, of course. I hope your Neo boat is big fish. 2018 is going to be massive. Kurt, it's not that big, man. I've got some in my Neo bag for sure. Neo boat, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I think I've given my reasons that I think Neo is a solid project. I also gave my reasons why I thought it was overpriced, but now we're actually getting some, you know, at the time, everything changes so quick in this economy. So when I was saying it was overpriced, it hadn't had Red Pulse released on it. It hadn't had Q-Link lining up to release on it. You know, some ICOs actually starting to get it released on top of the Neo platform. So yeah, now I start to think, okay, potentially still a little bit overvalued, but everything is in this economy. So, you know, bagging up on it for future. Like I don't think we're at all-time highs. I don't think $50 was all-time highs. Not long term. When's it going to crack those highs? I got no idea. But at least they're starting to bring out, like there has actually been some development on the Neo platform. That gives me more confidence to actually buy it at these sort of prices. Whereas before these releases, I didn't have confidence buying at that price because I thought, no, it's still not proven. It still hasn't had any coins released on top of it. I'll wait. And the market, you know, speculated well in advance. And I think we're getting closer to a reasonable valuation now as the amount of development actually catches up to the price that we'd already factored in. So, yeah. ADA was incredibly stable during the boom BTC here, I noticed. And you know what? So was Ethos. I think I realized that these coins are all speculators' holdings. I think that when you get confidence through a dip, when your altcoins are dipping less than the other altcoins in an overall market correction, I think that's a really good sign. That historically has been a great sign and something I look for. It's a really good indication when you get those dips of, you know, people fear, right? It's emotion driven, so they start dumping everything. But if you really believe in a project, you're less likely to dump, you're more likely to start stocking up, right? So to me, that the level of the dip that happens in an overall correction can actually indicate the level of community and the level of faith behind that coin long term. P. Austin, Paddy, what's going on, man? Did you guys see Nice Hash was hacked recently? I did, Paddy. I did. I can't. Nice Hash was hacked recently. Yeah, so that's something my mum asked me today. She's like, oh, so Bitcoin got hacked with this, right? I'm like, no, mum, Bitcoin itself didn't get hacked. No one's ever hacked the blockchain. To do that, you would have to hack the current block, every block that's ever existed, and every computer, or 51% of the computers controlling the Bitcoin network. I don't think that's possible to do simultaneously. So, yeah, but there is plenty of security issues in the crypto economy off-chain, if you like. We've seen it a million times with exchanges and things like that. It's a good point. Yep, everyone responding to Paddy. Kurt said like 17 plus new ICOs DApp coming out on Ether just got, coming out on Neo, I'm assuming you're meaning. Yeah, Ether just got stress tested and lost to cats. Neo can do 10,000 transactions per second. Ether is like 20, BTC is like 7. Yeah, I mean, it has got advantages over Ether. I don't doubt that. But the reality is that the weight of ICOs is still currently being released on the Ether platform. Therefore, the development market is deciding to go with Ether still overwhelmingly. I think that will change. That could shift. But I also think that if, you know, Ethereum are currently undergoing forking solutions. I think that's what might have brought them up to 20 though. So I'm not sure if they've got future scaling already planned, or it's something they've said, well, it's a roadmap, we're going to have to work on it. But yeah, it makes a good point. You know, CryptoKitties tested out the Ethereum network and it did stress it, but anyone who thought it wasn't going to had not done their research prior to what was going on. You guys should know the transactions per second of these platforms. That was only a matter of time, unless Ethereum's scaling race, if they were able to race to a scaling solution before successful dApps started getting developed on top of the Ether network. Yeah, for now. Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, quicker for now. Fast Crypto News has asked, what's the best wallet for BTC? I have heard a couple of different opinions, but I really don't feel confident. I've heard Trezor is a good wallet, but I haven't used it. BTC is not a huge holding of mine, so I won't tell you where I'm holding it, but I'm not holding it overly securely, to be honest. Do as I say, not as I do, is often the advice from Fish. Did you hear about Cheetah Coin not getting hacked? Yeah, I did, Agent Smith. It's pretty hard to get hacked when you don't exist. Stop talking about it and do it. We want to see Bitcoin Cheetah. No, don't even call it Bitcoin Cheetah because I've ranted so much about people forking and using the name. So just call it Cheetah Coin. It's wicked. BP just said to Agent Smith, dude, I found out that Trump coin is the best long-term hodl. Who would you think is being based on a volatile person? I have no idea what you're talking about, Agent Smith. Stop drinking. I've told you not to drink and come on and comment on the show. Mate, it's like texting your ex when you're drunk. It's not a good idea. Don't come on to Fishy's live chat. Not when you're drunk. I'm just teasing Agent Smith as usual. BB Junkie, yep, Agent Smith, do a Google search. You won't find any hits for Cheetah Coin being hacked. It must be good. You guys are dickheads. All right. Stop encouraging him. You're encouraging him. Stop it. Ryan Sellers, Keep Key. I heard it's a good cold wallet. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm really not super savvy on that sort of stuff, on the actual best wallets for Bitcoin and stuff. The good thing is that the way our Crypto Wave investment crew works, I don't have to be an expert on everything. So we've got people who are brilliant at that in the crew. So you guys, anyone who does have those questions, if you're in the chat now, you're welcome to join our Discord group. There is a link in the description. Join our Discord group. It's just an open discussion group for crypto, and we'll help each other out. So if you've got a question about hardware wallets or PIVX wallets for me, or we've got Ethercept and a couple of guys who are really good at tech, and then we've got Grinkers who's really good at the mining side of things. I like to try and analyze things from an economic perspective in terms of company valuation. So we got a lot of different skill sets in our Crypto Wave investment group, and the good thing is everyone's really helpful. So guys, if you do want to come in and join the chat, there's no subscription fees or anything like that. So you're welcome to come in and join that Discord group. Open discussion. The only thing we ask is no personal attacks, no racism. There is a list of rules, but that's pretty much what it boils down to. It's just general courtesy. Hi guys, check out Hufu. It is out next year. This is Phil Davis. Claims to be essentially unhackable. Yeah, there's a few. I mean, IOTA itself has basically said it's quantum computing, like quantum attack resistant as well. So there's a few that are making that claim. There's a huge list of neo ICOs coming. I don't doubt it, TNC. I'm sure we will see. I'm honestly sure we will see the equivalent of crypto kitties on the Neo network. Like someone actually said Neo Ants is getting done. I don't know whether they're joking or not, but why wouldn't that be successful with crypto kitties? How much did crypto kitties make? Goodness gracious, made a fortune. Totally not drinking yet, I don't believe you. Nexus claims that they are the most secure crypto at the moment, or at least Nexus will be when their decentralized SAT network is operational. That's interesting, said Fox. So there's cryptos all over the place, left, right, and center, making claims that aren't justified, though. I've got to say that. We're the safest. We're the first. We've got this person advising us. We're doing this. It's a lot of claims. I'd suggest you all look further into those claims before you take them as gospel just because they're on their homepage. Microsoft, Alibaba, Amazon, and more backing Apex ICO. Oh, that's cool. Apex. Apex. Someone sent me something on that. Was it you, TNC? Yeah, it was. Okay, you posted it on Discord. Yeah, I had a look at it, man. Looks good. Looks good to mine. But again, we want to make sure that those affiliations are actually confirmed. You know, what is working with Microsoft? If you call Microsoft and say, "Oh, can we develop this thing for Neo on, Windows 10?" Does that make it working with Microsoft? If you develop your wallet on Windows 10, are you now working with Microsoft? Because honestly, I think that's what some of these people claim. I think that's what some of these cryptos claim. They get the slightest bit of interest or just develop on a platform and claim they're working with the people. So see, it's interesting. Apex looks all right though, I've got to tell you. Yeah, Apex is the version of Neo. That's why I liked it, because it's got that Neo community behind it. And the Neo community is strong. I've got to tell you that, because when I was calling it overboard, I was getting crucified. Regardless of whether I was right or not. I was getting absolutely murdered for that. So yeah, Neo's got a strong community. I'm not saying they're aggressive or anything. There was just a few Neo diehards that were a bit unhappy with some of my comments that it was a bit overboard, as there will be Bitcoin people at the moment. But I just think there's really good value in a lot of the altcoins at the moment. I haven't had a look into it, Phil. Do you want to have a look now? Yeah, let's do it, Phil. We haven't had a look at one today. I'm going to screen share with you. Phil's asked for Electronium. I haven't noticed Phil Davis in the chat before. We like to do a new coin for a newbie, to our crew anyway. You might have been in the economy longer than me for all I know, but for Phil, we're going to have a look at Electronium now, and I'm going to give you my thoughts live and give you just a quick rundown, Phil, just on how I assess a coin and give you some of the things that I look for. So let's bring you over to screen share. Yeah, cool, man. Let's do it for you now. Let's bring you over to screen share and have a look at Electronium. I've never had a look at it, so it's going to benefit me too, and it'll benefit the crew who haven't had a look at it. So let's do an assessment together right now on Electronium. Just bringing you over to screen share and trying to figure out how to use my computer. Oh my God, I've got my, that's bad. All right, oh. This must make you filled with confidence about the guy you're watching. I'm not, one of the things, Phil, I'm not great with tech. So we're going to have a look at Electronium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to coinmarketcap.com, and we're just going to bring up Electronium there. I find it's the safest way to get the authorized site for the, and you know, I made a mistake when I was early in the economy, and I actually got involved in a pump and dump group thinking it was the official site for the coin. So you've got to be careful with that thing. So let's have a look at Electronium. So the basics to start with, we've got 10.5 cent US coin price, 14.28% down in the last 24 hours. And they're the sort of retracements we look for when we're trying to get into a coin. Now, I haven't had a good look. We've got to look at over on market cap. This is your volume here. So good volume, circulating supply unknowns. So it's saying the total supply at the moment is 5.5 million and 21 million. Now, that straight away is a big inflation rate to come. Having said that, if this happens over the next 1,000 years, I'm not so worried about it. So it's a big inflation rate from the current supply to the max supply, but over what time period? So that's what we've got to figure out to see whether that's alarming or not. Initially, it looks alarming, I'm not going to lie, but that could certainly be a simple case. And by the way, I said 5 and 21 million. I did mean B, a billion with a B, I believe. Let's have a look, 21. Yeah, 21 billion. Wow, okay. That's interesting. Because even at 5 billion, even at the current supply, like if you take that at 10 cents a coin, that's going to make it a $500 million company. That's quite a large market cap coin in this economy. Let's have a look at the quick growth patterns here. Okay, so it looks like we launched in November of 2017. So it's been a short life, and it has taken a dip down both against BTC and the US dollar in its early life, bottoming out around over here. A couple of lines of support, they're going to line up around the 25 cent mark by the looks of this. Yep, and one over here around 25 cents. So 25 cents seems to have found a bottom. Now, as we move up, it has taken some really, really good growth. Really strong growth, actually. So you can see now we're sitting on, what do we got? 10 cents. Yeah, so come a long way up from the, 0.25 cents. So we 4x from there. I called it 25 cents. Just to correct myself there, guys. It is, so it is 2.5 cents. Sorry, 2.5 cents. Sorry for that. So yeah, we 4x from there to the current point. We're a little bit off historical highs, but not a whole way considering the run up we had. Usually what I like to do when we get these sorts of growth patterns is use my Fibonacci sequence, which calls it from, we'd call it roughly a 7.5 cent growth. So we'd have to take 3.75 cents back from the high before I'd be prepared to start buying without actually looking at the coin. So it looked like it was about 12 cents there. So around the 8.25 cent mark is where I would look to buy. Having said that, that's based on doing that without even looking at the So let's go and have a look at the website for Electroneum. Let's have a look together. Okay, Electroneum, the mobile cryptocurrency, simple to use, powered by an app. Okay, Electroneum is a leap forward in the accessibility of cryptocurrencies. The Electroneum blockchain is live. However, for security reasons and to protect your ETN, we have engaged one of the world's top security firms to test our system prior to launch. Read our blog or Facebook page for details. We apologize for this delay. Okay, so there's been a delay straight off the bat. Electroneum's exposure reactions. Duncan Logan, the CEO of Rocket Space, who nurtured the likes of Uber, Spotify, and Hootsuite, is publicly tweeting and posting about his intention to buy Electroneum, as it is something entirely new. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, the whole buying things because other people buy it doesn't really appeal to me. Tell me what else you're going to do. Let's see what these things say. Interview with founder. So there's plenty of research you can do here. So you've got the interview with the founder. You've got a Yahoo Finance article, ICO Bench. So ICO Benchmark gave a 4.5 out of 5. Obviously, a good score there. The Telegraph, Bloomberg. So you go and read all these articles. That's one of the things you do. Let's have a look. Electroneum crowd sale success, one of the largest token sales by user numbers of all time. Our token sale reached its 40 million hard cap and closed early, making it one of the most successful token sales to date. But more excitingly, we reached in excess of 120,000 contributors and over 300,000 registered users and counting. We thank everyone who has purchased Electroneum and invested in its future. Using this investment, we have further developed a cryptocurrency that is aimed at the $2.2 billion smartphone users around the globe. Yeah, cool. Most cryptos are kind of aiming for that. We have had an app that allows you to manage your online funds by sending and receiving payments with convenient of simple QR code scanning, but it goes into completely new realms by offering the user a cryptocurrency mining experience without the technical knowledge or specialist hardware that is required for Bitcoin Ethereum mining. Okay, cool. So it's okay. So that essentially there is a key point of difference, guys. What we call a point of difference. So the point of difference is that you'll actually be able to use the smartphone to engage in the mining process, which is pretty cool. I'd have to have a look more at that. What I might do is actually log on and see how easy it is to actually mine using your mobile phone. That'll be interesting. So initially it does look like a good idea. Again, you're going to have to go through and have a look at this. Super secure, unhackable offline wallets, the easiest cryptocurrency to manage. Yeah, so you go have a look through a few more of these things, but this is where we're getting to key points, guys. White paper and team. White paper shows their vision and it gives you the nitty gritty of their vision, but the team is super important, guys. I like to invest in people. People are what make the company. Richard Ellis. Richard has a history of building successful digital businesses. He's co-founded the successful digital agency Site Wizard, now over 20 years old. More recently, he founded Retortal.com in 2013. As the CEO, Richard's assembled a team of over 40 developers and created a social media management platform used by global Fortune 500 companies such as Herbalife and Avon. I'm not sure they're the two best companies for references. Retortal's software is used by hundreds of thousands of people. Cool. So yeah, go through, have a real good look at the team, get into their LinkedIn profile, see what they've done. We can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, still looking at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you go and look into each of these individual people and have a look what their relevant experience is. So you've got about 12 people on the core team and another couple of advisors. So Mark Robertson and Andy Denton been named as advisors. So yeah, you go and look into those people, see what you think of them. Read the white paper. This is the critical part. Let's go and find the white paper. And this is where I always struggle because they're always hidden. Downloads, maybe. Our team blog, log in, welcome. I'm going to go with downloads, see if it's in here. Download Windows Miner. I'll tell you what I'll do, guys. I'll even test run it for you. If it's easy enough to do, I'll try and do it Windows miner and all this sort of stuff and see if I can actually figure out how to start mining. You guys are all probably laughing yourself silly with the thought of me trying to do that right now. My main concern at the moment is I can't see a white paper. I want a white paper. Am I missing something? Welcome. Downloads, our team, blog, login, Electronium. Just having a look, Google Play App Store. Yeah, see, I want to see a white paper. I'm coming back to the chat because I might have missed something real easy, but I can't see a white paper here. That concerns me. General questions, can I have a white paper, please? Yeah, so that's Electronium. It looks all right on the basis of it, but I really want to see a white paper. I was hoping to go through at least a little bit of that with you guys. So I don't know. I'll go and see if I can find it. I'm just going to come back to the chat because Electronium could be just checking with Phil. It's only on Cryptopia at the moment. Cool. When it goes on a major exchange, I feel it will explode. That can happen with coins. Phil, one of the exchanges that's kind of infamous for that sort of price action is Ether Delta. So coins that get listed on Ether Delta quite often experience good surge in their price after that. Ether Delta is not the only place to get them because a lot of people find Ether, especially the newbies, they find Ether Delta very hard to use. So by finding those coins that are only listed on obscure exchanges, you can cash up, man. Cryptopia, I've picked up, like I do good trading there just because of the low volumes. I do good successful Litecoin trading. Phil, I've actually got a video on trading Litecoin on Cryptopia. So, mate, it's in my videos. If you're over on Cryptopia, I strongly recommend you have a look at that because that has been my most profitable percentage trades is Litecoin over on Cryptopia. You have to wait for them, but when you hit them, they're just awesome. But yeah, it's a good point, man. You look for those ones. I'll tell you one that is on an obscure exchange at the moment in terms of it's only on Ether Delta, but it is gaining ground. And I'm just so stoked because this is the first crypto I ever did any work for. Kind of call it my internship in crypto. I did some work for Encryption when I was had very small following in the crypto world. Not that I have a huge one now, but I had a really small following of 4 people. It was 40 by the time I released the article that I wrote for Encryption, but I certainly didn't have a big following, and Dave took a shot over it. Oh yes, even further. Sorry, I hadn't checked this in a while. Encryption's one of Wow. I'm going to message him. I'm going to email David today. That's awesome. Yeah, so David Copesell's the CEO, Dr. Copesell, sorry. David's a great guy, though. Like, he probably wouldn't like being called Dr. Copesell. Anyway, great news for Encryption DNA. So medical blockchain, looking to store genomic data on the blockchain. And, use cases, curing cancer. Reversing the aging process. Who knows what the genomics will unlock? So I love the idea, and I love the vision that David had for it, and I love that he wasn't prepared to sell out to a big pharmaceutical company. That's one of the questions I asked him. He said, "No, they can invest, but they're not buying us out. Forget it." And 41% on Ether Delta. I've got my coins somewhere. I should go and find them. Don't care. Long-term bag holding. Always loved the idea, and I didn't have a lot of money to invest at that stage. I'd actually come out of a flood and was doing it financially pretty tough until I found crypto. Made a stack off of crypto. So yeah, Encryption was the first blockchain project I ever worked for, so it's always going to have I'm going to have a soft spot in my heart for it, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But I did think it was ridiculous that it just was raising virtually nothing. Compared to some ICOs that were raising, multi-millions on nothing. And I think Dave raised like less than 2 million at ICO. So it was a real sleeper. 12 million, that's really good to see. I'm stoked. I'm gonna email Dave later today. I'll try and get him on the show, guys, because we've got Q-Link coming on the show. We've got the team from Q-Link. 2 of them, I'm sorry, Q-Link members, I can't remember your names off the top of my head, but 2 of the core team from Q-Link are coming on the show on Friday. 11 a.m, make sure you have your questions ready. I'll try and get David to come on as well. He's a good guy. Love for you guys to meet him. So, David Copesell, you're going to get a call from me soon. Should never have given me your personal email. Just kidding, Dave. Oh, yeah, no, that's stoked. I'm really happy to see that for David because I know how hard he works. Okay, guys, I'm just catching up to live chat because I went on a rant again. Thoughts on OMG? Rob B, I like it. I like OMG. Vitalik Advice Project. I've got a little bit, man. I don't have a huge bag of it, but I do like it. It's just choosing the coins that you're going to stack into heaviest. You know, I stick to budget. I can't leave myself in a position where I got no money. So I stick to budget, and OMG was like a soft hit for me, man, but I've made good money on it because I bought it up at that, like, I think it was either it was 680 and 780 I bought it up. Or was it 680 and 580? I can't remember. But last big dip we got on OMG, that's when I bought it up. Thought it was too cheap. I think it's got a good future. Because, I mean, Vitalik is so influential in this economy as well, and I don't think that his association, his involvement with OMG can be understated as to what that is worth. Yeah, that's cool, Phil. I'm sorry I don't know more about it at the moment, man. I'll look more into it, Electronium. But I was happy to just sort of give you an idea of how I assess things. But you just got to get stuck in, you know, dig your teeth into the team. What are they doing? What are they like? Get on their LinkedIn profiles. Stalk them on Facebook. I'm not even joking. Just like whatever you have to do to figure out whether you're putting in a solid investment or not. So that's what I'd do if I was like for my next step for Electronium is I'd go and find that white paper and I'd go and sink my teeth into the team and see what they've got in terms of what I think they've got to offer. I don't have any, Phil. I don't have any Cardano. It's not because I don't like it. It's just because I never looked into it. So no, Cardano's not one that I actually am currently holding. Wish I had of. It's had good times. You got in at 2 cents. Good on you, man. That's nice to see. It's your best run on a coin yet. That's good, Phil. What's Cardano? Didn't we have a look at it at 11 cents or 10.5 cents? So you're 5x, bro. That's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That's the sort of, you know, that's fantastic. And just always remember that you haven't 5x'd anything until you've taken some profit off the table. I like to advise everyone to just take a little bit of profit along the way. I mean, if you've 5x'd and you take 20% of your overall investment off the table, you can't lose no matter what. You can't lose. It's free money. Not free money, and you can lose your profit, but you know what I'm saying. You can't go back to that negative balance. You can't actually be putting your own money at risk anymore. So I think it's responsible investing, and also it gives you some capital in case the big dip comes. You know what I mean? The big dip comes and I wish I had some more fiat to chuck in. Like I'm cool. I know I'll just, you know, ride it out and I'll hodl and it'll be fine. It has been historically. So you can have that attitude, but every time the big dip comes, most of us are sitting here going, oh, I wish I had some more fiat to put in. You're thinking of getting some while it's down now, Rob? It's always a good idea to look for those retracements, man. 3.7% in the last 24 hours is not a huge retracement over 24 hours. Let me have a look at the chart for you, Rob, or whoever that was going to buy it. Interesting price action. Holy, look at the parabolic at 1st of December. Geez, you would have loved to have been on it at the start of the month, wouldn't you? Just went absolutely berserk towards the end of November, start of December. 24-cent highs, like, oh no, so that's it. Sorry, not 24 cent. It's good sideways movement, like reasonable within a range. I think it's probably coming to the point. Yeah, I don't mind it for buying just on the chart. Like I haven't really looked into the project itself, but I think you're okay buying on the chart at that price. Looks okay. KMD under 20 cats, is it? 20K, is it? Satoshi? Yeah, I might have a look at some more today, Agent Smith. You see the, I think it was you who dropped the information about the 5% guaranteed annual return on Komodo. So that's pretty cool. And you know I like Komodo, man. Have you heard anything coming out about that Monese ICO though? I'm still waiting on that because that's where I'm going to bang a bunch of Komodo into that Monese ICO and then earn the Komodo back as residual from Monese. Do you know when have they announced that? I haven't kept an eye on it, Agent Smith. That's your job. I've just like totally nominated you to keep an eye out on when that Monese ICO comes out. They're going to give us 2 weeks notice, man. Still nothing? Cool. All right, just let us know, Agent Smith. Keep it on top of that one because I've been bag holding that Komodo for ages. Not that I think it's, I'd probably bag hold it anyway, but I did buy more specifically to get into the Monese ICO. Hey, I've run up 50% since I bought it, so I'm not that disappointed. Phil Davis, I always contact CEOs on LinkedIn and get replies, laugh out loud. I find it's the best place to get through to the teams. Yeah, it's good. Phil, mate, if you're new in this space, which I'm assuming you have because you just had your first five bagger, mate, get in there, sink your teeth in. I got jobs in the economy just from sinking my teeth in. Working for PIVX now, worked for Encryption for a little bit. Encryption wasn't paid, having said that. That's why it's more of an internship. But I really did enjoy getting myself into that space over there. You know, I've done actually, not like I've done a little bit of work with other cryptos as well. I won't tell you about all them, but yeah, so just like sinking your teeth in is the best, like getting involved is the best way, not only to find out the strength of the team, but to find out what's going on in the crypto economy. It's a great way for newbies to get involved. And honestly, I found that, like, I went to anyone who's super condescending because I don't have tech skills, I'm like, you are not going to win over the masses. I'm sorry. You can sit here and be computer experts and computer legends, and yes, you're brilliant. But if you are going to be condescending to everyone who only has computer skills of mine or less, you are going to be condescending to a hell of a lot of people, and they're not going to invest based on nothing other than people are being talked down to. So yeah, I think that if you get that sort of arrogance from a team, like I did from JP Richardson at Exodus, you should make your statement as a customer by never using the shitty Exodus platform again. Bet you're regretting that one now, JP Richardson, CEO of Exodus. Had time to sit down and insult a newbie. I'd been in the crypto economy for all of a couple of weeks and I couldn't find a transfer. And their team wouldn't help me out. And I said, well, that's not good enough. And he personally sat down and insulted me and offered to pay me $5 to never use Exodus again. What an arrogant prick. Go and have a look. Oh, hang on. I'll show you him on screen share. Seriously, this is my last rant before I go, by the way, because I'm checking out soon. But can you honestly tell me? I'm gonna show you right now. And JP, feel free to get back to me, mate. I'm still waiting for your reply after I smoked you in that absolute return email and in the rap I did calling you out because you're a wanker. I'm just going to show you JP Richardson. Is that his name? JP Richardson? Where is he? Richardson? Yeah, that's him. Seriously, has that guy ever been laid in his life? 100% no. He has never engaged in sexual intercourse in his life. So, JP, you can burn me all you like, mate, but you look like a tool. Oh, dear. So that one burn of fish where he thought he was going to play big guy has earned him hours and hours and hours of negative publicity. So, JP, well played, mate. Good move from a CEO of a company. Coming back to Hangouts. Oh, I'm already on Hangouts. I'm coming back to the chat. And then I'm going to check out. So, yeah. That was my, yeah, he's a total loser. I've had direct contact with him. He's got his little wallet, multi-wallet, and he thinks he's king of the world now. Come down to deeper, please, JP. Come to deeper. He is a bitch, Agent Smith. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, one forearm is pretty big. Exactly, Pablo. I hear you loud and clear, brother. All right. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, join the Discord, Phil. It's good fun, man. It's good space for the newbies as well. Like, you're going to have to turn it off occasionally because the guys go nuts. It never stops beeping. Everyone's crypto nuts. But, no, it's a good safe space as well. But BP said he's definitely going to be one of those guys with the sex robot. Yeah. Oh, mate, he's just I just don't understand that, like, to be so condescending to a new customer and basically call me out and tell me he would pay me not to use the platform again. Oh, by the way, the best part is I left that $5 sitting in the Exodus platform and it's now worth $25. So when Segment gets enabled and it's cheap for me to move, I'll move out my $25. He paid me $5 not to move it. I never touched the platform again. And then I opened it like 2 days ago and there's $25 sitting in there. I was just like, suck on that, you clown. Anyway, guys, I will really take this too far unless I check out now. So I am going to check out. And to JP Richardson, you are a dickhead. I'm out, guys. I'll catch you tomorrow for another crypto conversation. Fish out. Peace. Bye. Google Hangouts. And